Amvrakikos Wetland National Park. The Amvrakikos Wetland National Park is distinguished for its great biological, ecological, aesthetic, scientific, geomorphological and educational value. The wetland complex of the Ambracian Gulf is one of the most important in Greece and is characterised by a great diversity of life. For this reason, it was included in the National List of Wetlands of International Importance of the Ramsar Convention. Amvrakikos Wetland National Park covers an area of about 20,000 hectares at the north coast of the Ambracian Gulf, the biggest northern gulf of the west part of Greece, with a surface area of about 405 kilometres squared. The Gulf communicates with the Ionian Sea at the west via a narrow channel, the Strait of Actium. 296 bird species have been recorded in the Ambracian Gulf, including 115 strictly protected species listed in Annex 1 of Directive 2009/147/EC. The Ambracian Gulf hosted from antiquity various ports of both ancient Ambracia, such as Ambracus, and the city that was built in the ancient location, namely Arta, through the river network created by both the Louros and the Arakthos rivers. The important centres of the mainland communicated with the closed bay. The shallow depth at the entrance of the bay did not allow for the development of a large port, but important ports with mainly commercial traffic were created in the area. The river Louros was navigable to the point of the castle of Rogon, giving the opportunity to small boats to sail from the Ambracian Gulf to the port of Bucetium until the years of the Despotate of Epirus in the late Middle Ages. The same was true for the river of Arakthos, which was also navigable in the years of the medieval state of Epirus. Through the lens of history. Ancient and Roman times. The ancient colonists from Corinth and Ilia, seeing the advantages of the region, like access to the inland, safe bases for ports, strategic importance for the development of trade, to name but a few, established important colonies in Epirus. This led to a flourishing commerce along the coast of Epirus, no more isolated, but ever since linked with southern Greece. Certainly, the sacking and destruction of 70 cities of Epirus in 167 BC by Lucius Aemilius Paulos Macedonicus did not leave the region of the Ambracian Gulf unaffected, as most of the region remained deserted during the reign of Octavian Augustus, according to Strabo. With Octavian's victory in 31 BC, the focus shifted to his city of victory, Nicopolis, wanting to leave this success to eternity. However, the first of the Roman emperors, Octavian Augustus, drove the northern shores of the Ambracian and the rest of the region into decline and made it easy prey for bandits. As the entire population had shifted to Nicopolis, the area of the northern shores of the Ambracian Gulf would take many years to regain its former glory. Life, of course, continued, as evidenced by the sporadic habitation in Ambracia, until the 4th century AD, ruins of Roman farmhouses and some ruins of early Christian churches. However, the churches that began to be built after the 8th century AD in the wider area of the plain bear witness to coordinated traces of life. Medieval times. During the years of the medieval state of Epirus, known as the Despotate of Epirus, Arta became a reference point for developments in the Ambracian Gulf region. In regard to naval affairs, the Venetians became the rulers of the bay after their agreement with the first ruler of the region, Mikhail I Komnenos Doukas, while only the later rulers of the Despotate, the Tocco and the Orsini houses, introduced a naval element into the Despotate. The fish farms in the area were owned by the rulers of the time, while the various religious institutions in the area also had a share in their exploitation from time to time. Under the Ottomans, Foreign consular authorities settled in the city of Arta, already from the 18th century and earlier, because of the wheat and other raw materials, but mainly because of the shipbuilding timber, a rare material of the time, so necessary for the construction of ships in Europe. Moreover, the enclosed gulf provided security against pirates, who had a habit of attacking ships during loading. Under the Ottomans, and more particularly under Ali Pasha of Ioannina, the port of Arta was Salaura. But as early as the Despotate years, Salaura, together with Koprena, were places of transit trade and activity, and the landing of military forces. In the years of Ali Pasha, however, the port acquired special importance. Ali built a road connecting Salaura with Arta. Subsequently, the area was affected by the events that took place during the Greek War of Independence. Repatriation. The Greek War of Independence in 1821 led, after 12 years of fighting, to the Protocol of Independence of the Greek state, and then to the redefinition of the borders with the ever-shrinking Ottoman Empire. Initially, the peripheral Ambracian Gulf coast is divided in two, and the Pagasetic Gulf-Ambracian Gulf border line ends between the positions of Koprena, while Salaura is still under Ottoman rule. Greek ships have been free to enter the bay since 1832, and after the Congress of Berlin in 1881. When the borders of the Greek state were extended to the river network of the waters of Arachthos and its tributaries, transnational steamship routes between the Kingdom of Greece and the Ottoman Empire were developed in the region. The ports of Koprena and Menivi in the Gulf claimed the role of the harbour of Arta, so that by the 1920s, the former was being accessed daily by steamships. The Amvrakikos Wetland National Park is important for the conservation of global biological diversity and has significant value not only for Greece but for humanity, while it is internationally significant in terms of ecology, botany, zoology, limnology and hydrology. It is characterized by extraordinarily rich biodiversity, and it has an especially important function for the bird fauna, being a transition point for migratory birds. The rare and endangered species have seemingly found here the perfect habitat. Due to its geographical position, the park has become one of the most important routes for European migratory birds. Generous, diverse and multifaceted, the nature of the Gulf reserves various naturalist activities, whereas the fishing tradition in the area, dating back to ancient times, lays the table with superb local products. List of values. The conservation and management of rare habitats and species of flora and fauna, especially the avifauna, which consists of several important species, is the mission of the park. In the Ambracian Gulf, many types of natural habitats occur, which are classified as special conservation areas. The largest single reed bed in the Balkans, that of Rovia, together with the Arachthos salt marshes and the sweet marshes of the Lurosh flood zone, are some of the most important areas of the territory for these habitat types. Indicative of the diversity of the ecosystems of the area is the differentiation of the vegetation found on the hills of the area, and consists of thermophilic forests of deciduous oak species. With more than 20 lagoons, the park is the largest single wetland in Greece, offering shelter, food, resting and nesting areas to a wide variety of birds, confirming its exceptional importance for the avifauna of the European and international level. Together with mudflats, sandy beaches and sand dunes, extensive reed beds and marshes, alternating with wet riverside forests, traditional crops, broadleaf hills and small islands form the mosaic of the park, making it unique in the whole of Europe. An ingenious invention. After the naval battle at Actium in 31 BC and the development of ancient Nicopolis, the management of the fish populations that entered the shallow waters began with the method of controlling the passes and the installation of fish collecting and harvesting mouths with the so-called Evaria we know today. The mosaics of Nicopoli are timeless works of art, and from their finely worked themes, learn about the natural environment, agricultural work, and the intense fishing activity of the city's inhabitants in the Ambracian Gulf and the Ionian Sea. Even the prize for the winners of the Actium Games was a wreath made of fine reeds that abounded in the area. The Evaria are facilities that control the movement, contain and capture fish moving in and out of the lagoons. They are practically natural fish farms. They are built on the narrow channels of communication between the sea and the lagoons, the spouts openings, as they are called. The construction of traditional spouts is a difficult and demanding construction that has tended to disappear in recent years.